Well, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Live Younger community call. I am your co host, Robin Blanc Mascari, along with my husband, Gregory, and he'll be here in just a minute. And we get together every Monday evening as a community. We love to be together and we love to share the good news of LifeWave. We also like to give updates and we also like to, share some interesting training tips. And tonight, there's so much going on in LifeWave right now. So we're going to go over a lot of it tonight. Before we begin, we have a very special guest. And she is a senior presidential director in the Live Younger community. She's also a nurse of, almost 50 years and a nutritionist. And, she's a beloved member of our community, an amazing community member and community builder. And I want to introduce Miss Anne Moreau. Do you want to join us?
Here I am.
I love it. Good evening. Oh, look at, we look like Christmas.
I know.
I think we're a little early. It's like, no, no, not yet. No,
It's a celebration.
we're always celebrating. And
That's
so
right.
I had so much fun talking to you today. And we, every once in a while, we like to have special patch tips on our Monday night call. And I know you have a tremendous amount of experience with all kinds of things. And so I want to just turn things over to you to talk about, for the next 5 or 10 minutes, whatever you would like to share of your patching tips for our community, because you've learned so much and you've been able to help so many people. So I'm going to just turn it over to you.
Okay. Well, I'm going to start by talking about blood pressure issues because that is something that a lot of people are looking at is I don't want to take medication. I was one of those people and I remember well, both my parents, there's a strong history of cardiovascular and so both on blood pressure meds and my mom ended up being in kidney failure. And so a lot of times we don't realize that medications that we're taking are actually causing other problems. I mean, I remember talking to my mom's doc, and he said, there's no drug out there that doesn't cause side effects. Every single drug we take causes some side effect. So we know that, in particular, blood pressure meds will impact kidney and often kidney failure at the end of our life or in the later years of our life. And that's where my mother was at. So when my physician started talking about blood pressure medications, I was like, no way, I am not getting on those. And I was going to do whatever I could to shift things. And for me, initially, it was using 39, X39. And when X49 came out, I added that and I used both of those patches. And both of those patches helped bring my blood pressure down. It had been running like about 144 to 150 over 80. And it took about 4 months of combining the two patches, 39 and 49, for my blood pressure to come down to 114 over 68. And it's been 4 years now. 4 years, is that how long it's been? That 49's been out, I think about that long. And I've gone back for my physical since, and my blood pressure has been running a nice one. Last time I went 112 over 60. But now we have Celergize, and I'm really excited about that because there are ingredients in our beautiful mineral product that has what we call, one of the ingredients is called L-citrulline. And if you do your research and you look up L-citrulline, you'll find that it converts to nitric oxide. And not nitric oxide is known to improve blood flow, your cardiovascular system. It also will inducing formations of mitochondria. Do you all know what mitochondria are? Your mitochondria are what produces energy in the cell. And we know that healing is energy intensive. Without energy, you cannot heal, you cannot repair. So really important. I think that's just amazing, the things that David keeps creating. So I want to share with you though some really important I think I've had over the years some really important tipping things that have happened, patch tipping protocols. And one of them was one of my most complex and really critical gentleman that came to the house that I had never met before, by the way. He walked into the house. He was coming into the home to check out my cabinets. He literally was having trouble lifting his leg. And I said to him, what's going on? And I was asking him all these questions. And he finally shared with me everything he had done to try to get rid of a sciatica. Now, I don't typically use diagnoses, but all of you know what that is. And there was a lot of pain. He had the leg was double its size. And I knew and I asked him, give me your pain level, 1 to 10. And he said 22. Do you think maybe that guy was in a lot of pain? He had seen physical therapists, acupuncturists. He had been to chiropractors. He had been to deep tissue massage. He had done 6 cortisone shots. The 6 cortisone shot, he hit the nerve. They hit the nerve in his that leads to the leg, and he had foot drop because it deadened the nerve in that leg. And so this gentleman was really looking for answers. But I also knew we've got a gentleman here who's really in significant inflammation. So I started by patching where the pain was in the cheek area. I like to do what we call, when you put, we call it bracketing, where you put one patch right in the pain area, like on the buttock, and you take the front of the body, face the patch, so that you've got the tan patch, ice wave patch on the pain area, and you've got the white patch in the front facing that area. So I patched him that way. I put the Eon patch there as well, but that leg was so darn swollen, and I just couldn't get his pain level. I mean, he told me he felt a little something because I had the X39 already in the back of his spine. And so I decided that, this gentleman's going to need a little bit more. And so I ended up patching him with another set of patches under his feet, Ice Wave, under the feet at kidney 1. And then I placed the Eon patch on top of the foot between the great toe and the second toe on the affected area on the right side. I put Eon there because I knew when I checked this gentleman that he had a lot of inflammation. And so we patched there, and his pain level dropped significantly after double patching with Ice Wave and Eon and using the X39. Now, I know after talking to Dr. Nicholas, he's often used like 2 or 3 X39 in the pain area with results. This gentleman, by the way, I checked up with him, every day for 2 weeks, couldn't get that level beyond a 2. I wanted him to be a 0, could not get him to 0. And that was important to me. And so I ended up talking with him. And I think this is important. When you're talking to people who are not getting results, you want to dig a little bit deeper. Let's figure out why. Why are they not getting results? Is it they're not hydrating? Is it that they need to be mineralized? Is it because of patching and where they're patching? Or is it even something deeper? Like, is there a lot of inflammation, and the inflammation is not coming down because are their blood sugars elevated? And in this case, this gentleman's blood sugar was 400. And so then I knew why we were not getting to where we needed to go, because if you've got a blood sugar of 400, you will not be able to get rid of pain, right? Sugar that's floating around is going to cause pain in the body. So it really meant my working with him to learn, to teach him how to eat so that he wasn't continuing to raise blood sugar. And I'll tell you, it took us 2 months, but 2 months later, he was out of pain totally after 2 full years of being in chronic pain and barely being able to walk. So, those are powerful things when you can get people out of pain. Just recently, there was a woman, I got a phone call. Woman called and said, could you come help patch this woman who's having a lot of shoulder pain and neck pain. And she was talking about a hand. She was telling me that the hand, she couldn't open it. Like she couldn't open it. She couldn't touch her fingers. She was saying the wrist was really painful. And I went over to see her, and I was kind of trying to feel the wrist. And as I was touching the wrist, she was saying, that the wrist was just not getting any better, and that they thought, she had PT, and they thought she might have fractured it. And I said to her, I don't think this is a fracture. I mean, if I've worked with children, a good part of my nursing career, and you can't touch that bone if it's fractured. And I was touching it with no problem. It was movement. that was causing the issue. And I said to her, I really think this is coming from your spine. I want you to think about the spine and all the nerve endings that come off that spine and how that feeds the arms and it feeds the legs. So I said to her, let's patch by your neck, because I think a lot of it is coming from there. And if you've ever heard Dr. Nicholas, and if you haven't, go to Dr. Nicholas Tivoli's channel, because he talks about this. There are two areas where they can be nerve entrapment, and one is in this area of the neck. And if you go to the spine and you palpate the shoulders, you can find their tender spots. And in her case, I found the tender spots. I put the tan on the left, the white on the right, and then I put an Eon on top. I already had the X39 on the back of the neck. That's the first patch I put, always X39 on the back of the neck. And then I went ahead and put the other two and the Eon. And she immediately said, oh my God, I'm feeling something. And it didn't take her long. 5-10 minutes later, she started to raise her arms, and 15 minutes later, we had her raising her arms over her head where she couldn't even lift them up this high. So it was pretty powerful, but the hand was still bothering her. So I put a second Eon, but right in this part of her hand, and we waited a little bit. And before you knew it, she was opening and closing the hand and touching every finger. And she was blown away. And her daughter was in the room with us. And she was like, oh my God, my mom has done everything imaginable. And nothing has worked to help my mom feel better. Just couldn't believe it. And this same daughter, says to me, so she ended up bringing some patches home, and her dad had been complaining of hip pain for quite a while. They were talking about, they possibly would have to do hip replacement. He was going to be seeing the doctor. And so she says to me, I'm going to give my dad this patch. So she goes to see her dad, patches her dad, puts the X39 right on the hip, one X39. He goes to bed that night because it was the evening, gets up the next morning, no more hip pain. He was blown away at the results. He had no longer, the hip pain. And the daughter was like, oh my God, these are like magic, so it's really powerful to patch. It's fun to patch. And it's really about finding the right placements. Sometimes when I'm dealing with people who say their pain is down below, it's in the lower part of their body, even, in the hip area, or, and it's extending down the leg. And I'm not able to, even with the patching tipping protocols I just gave you, I can't get them out of pain. And one of Dr. Tivoli's video, he talks about this, that perhaps there's nerve entrapment in the groin area. And so what I will do is, and pretty much Dr. Nicholas talks about this on the video, so go see it. I'll take go to the belly button. I'll go to the side that's the most painful and have them go over 3 inches and go down another 2-3 inches and push with their fingers and walk around and see if they're getting relief. And if they're getting relief, then you're finding the area of nerve entrapment that's often there. And if you patch there, and I've had great success patching there and getting really good results pretty quickly, sometimes, and in fact, a lot of times I won't even take the patch, the back of the patch off, and I just hold it in place and I just move it around until I get a number that drops. And if the number drops, that's the place. It may not drop as low as I want it initially, but it will drop eventually if you leave it on the area that they got the best results on. So really, some really, I think it's intuitive. And I think asking people who you're, patching questions is really, really important. Find out from them, because they know their bodies. They can tell you what hurts most. And if you can go to the areas where it hurts most and patch, and again, you can put that X39 right in that area. And if that's not working, Dr. Nicholas puts a second and then a third patch, but often I will use, when I have somebody with extreme pain, I do like to incorporate the Ice Wave and the Eon, because I just get such quick results using those patches. So I hope those tips are helpful.
Helpful. Oh my gosh. I'm going to keep you on for the full hour.
Oh my gosh, is right. Wow, that is
Oh,
wonderful.
oh, that
Great,
was,
great.
thank you. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you.
you're
You know,
welcome. And I hope, again, I hope it helps people who are listening.
We'll have to label
Well,
that advanced patching tips by Anne.
right.
I think we need a new section.
But when people are in crisis like that, you need to stretch it a little bit. You need to go a little deeper and incorporate some of the other powerful patches. Before X39 was born, Aeon was the star of the show. And so it's
Right.
a co-star. And so is Icewave.
And
Exactly.
when I started getting trained by Dr. Nicholas in the very, very beginning, he said what you said, trust your instincts.
Mhm.
There's many dimensions to this frequency medicine, and our energy is important too. So, and have fun with it. You can't hurt anything, right?
That's right. And play with them. I think playing with the patches and moving them around, that's really important because if you keep moving, you're going to find the spot where all of a sudden they go, oh, I think it feels better there. And that's it, right? When you hear that, I mean, sometimes I'll still keep moving around the patch to see, but oftentimes I go right back to that area because that was where they felt it. They felt it the best.
And
So
then
yeah,
Dr. Nicholas says, tap on it. Bring,
yes,
bring some attention to the area too. Ah,
absolutely.
so fun to
Absolutely.
learn from you guys. Thank you, Anne. We
You're
so
welcome.
appreciate you. Yeah. Okay. We're ready to move on, huh? Was that fun?
Okay.
So yeah,
And I
let's
saw
see.
one question in the chat, and I want to draw people's attention. Dr. Nicholas has a YouTube channel. Well, if you scroll all the way to the bottom of the newsletter and all the way to the bottom, other important resources, Dr. Nicholas YouTube, there it is. So you can just copy that down, and that's where it is in the bottom of the newsletter. So, Robin, you want to comment briefly about the corporate updates? Maybe not in detail with each one, but um,
I'd be happy to. And there's two places every Monday. And so we want to, help you understand where we get our information so you can go there on your own too. Okay? So every Monday morning, the company's now sending us a weekly update. And there's clue number one. And just search for it, comes from marketing at Lifewave. And so a lot of what's on here comes from there. And then every Monday, one of our sales staff, either Garrett or Herbaldo or Dustin or Shirley, will give a week in advance and an update of what's going on at Lifewave. So this list here is a combination of the two of them. And every Monday, I go to both places and I get this information, and here it is. And Shirley was so sweet today. She goes, I'm practicing what I'm wearing for the conference. What are you going to wear? Put it in the chat. So she had this sparkly dress on. She's so adorable. I hope you guys got to see the introduction to Shirley on our last community call last week. So she's all excited about what are you going to wear. And then also, many people bought extra tickets. We had that opportunity early on that we no longer have to purchase tickets. And now the company wants names and emails and phone numbers on each one of those tickets as soon as you can. The deadline is September 14th, but they would really appreciate it if we get it done sooner versus later. And the instructions to get that done is a pinned feature on our Live Younger Facebook page. Okay. Um, Once a month, the company is now doing an onboarding training for all new brand partners, and that is happening this week. Garrett's going to do it. And so, oh, thank you, honey. And that is happening. So, bring your new brand partners. I recommend everyone go to see what he's doing because if you want to send your brand partners, you want to know, you know, the cool information, and I bet you're going to learn something too. Okay. August Manager Mania. Oh my gosh, I know a bunch of you are going for that. There's an extra $100. You get 5 points if you sponsor someone who becomes a manager. So if you're going for the cruise, managers really can make a difference. And then the sponsor gets a $50 bonus. So that is good through the end of August. And they even gave us information when the next Business Connect is. That's going to be on the 27th. So on Wednesdays is when we have LifeWave Connect. And then we also have the new member training. So the Business Connect is going to be on duplication on August 27th. And then we are continuing through the 31st of this month, the PC Plus bonus. You get 3 of them, you get an extra $50. And I know we got a bunch of people on our team that have earned that every month they've had it available. Okay, the big cruise. I hope you know your points. I hope you know how many you need every week to get to the Bahama cruise that's coming up. So we've done a bunch of training and support on that, and that's available in our Live Younger YouTube channel. Okay, and then the upcoming events calendar. So the company is giving that every week what's coming up in the future. Okay, honey, it's over to you. I've been
Okay,
talking a
good.
lot.
And I think what you're going to hear, we may sound like a broken record, but hopefully there's a new song every time you hear it or some new information. But a lot of people are really pushing for the qualification for the regional incentive Bahama cruise. And so on our director call, every Wednesday morning we have a director call. Every Thursday morning we have a brand partner training call. And this last Wednesday, um, Janet Kiefer and Connie Lucas stepped up and said, you know, we really need to talk about mindset and how people can really ratchet up the points for the cruise. And so what we did, it was such a great training on Wednesday that we've done something we've never done before. We took the Wednesday morning director mastermind and clipped out that section, which was just about all of the call on the success mindset and and how to sell. Well, it's not letting me highlight it here. There we go. The success mindset and how and why to sell more premium packs. Because what we pointed out, when someone buys a premium pack, you get 8 points. When you sign up a new customer, you get 1 point. So you can sign up 8 customers, or you can sign up one person with a premium pack, or you can upgrade people from their current pack towards a premium pack and get a prorated portion of those points. But I got to tell you that Janet and Connie with Dr. Dr. Velvet and a few other people chimed in and really, so I want to encourage everyone to listen to the replay if you haven't already done it. The replay from Thursday morning last week, and it's on liveyoungeryoutube.com. And we go over the what, the who, the how, the why of selling a premium pack and the benefits of it. And when you think about it, I mean, I've seen Robin sell a premium pack to a customer because they didn't want anything to do with the business, and it was a diamond pack, but same as a premium pack. They didn't want anything to do with the business, but they have a very large family, so excited about the products. They want to have some for everybody. And it was the best deal. It's the biggest bang for your buck. You make the most money. So I know this is going to be very valuable to everyone. And you can actually click here in the newsletter and get the download of the presentation that was done. You can click here and listen to it. But Robin, do you want to talk about some strategy that you've started employing and teaching people, and even in our own
In
pursuit
our
of
own
points?
business. Yeah. Well, what I love that, Connie and Jenna did so beautifully. And Connie said, I couldn't have made it on the last incentive trip if I didn't get premium kits or upgrade people to premium. But the bottom line is, $1,750 to start a business is nothing. If you look at, like go to the extreme of buying a franchise, it could be tens of thousands to millions of dollars for a turnkey system. Sometimes people don't take our business model seriously because the price of entry is so low. And $1,700 to have a multi-million dollar business opportunity is peanuts. And so what we were talking about is a mindset change because some people, oh, that's so much. It is not. And so to shift our perception of investing in a business at only, less than $2,000 is actually kind of crazy and people might not even take it seriously. So one of the things that I do is I like to work, many of you know, with intention. And I set my intention. And it's interesting, since last week, I have two people that are getting premium kits. And it was really fascinating how it happened. And I'm not going to get into the details right now, but really, really, if you want to move quicker and easier, and actually, people are really looking for an opportunity right now. Asking people the question, are you, excuse me, open to a supplemental income? A lot of people are. I think during COVID, people realized that we need to have a plan B. And like Jim Rohn says, I'm working part time on my future and full time on my job, because
Mhm.
most people do this part time. And so I listened to the training twice, and it shifted me. And I had to call Connie and Janet and thank them because I needed it. I really did. And now I got it, and it's working.
So I really encourage everyone, if you haven't already done so, listen to the replay. And if you have heard it, listen again. But you can also download the handout that they created. But these next two forms are also in support of the pursuit of your points, the incentive points. And the first is a rank advancement tracker. And we talked a lot about last week about, manager building, manager making, and looking for people that are ready to take their business to the next level. And taking their business to the next level could be getting to manager and could be upgrading to the premium pack. So those are two things you can focus on. And so I encourage everyone to download these three documents, a download of the power of the premium pack, and really let that sink in. And and what you were saying, Robin, it brings back the memories of that movie that was a revolutionary, earth-shaking movie a couple of decades ago called The Secret, right? And the secret is the law of attraction. And you're living in the law of attraction, and you've already got 16 points pending, which is very exciting. And you really only need to get 8 points a week and you'll be qualified, cruise qualified. So I think it's an incentive for everyone. Everyone could do it, but it is a mind shift or mindset change, to think, well, I should bring everybody in at 299, or I should, no one can afford, a premier pack, a premium pack. But in reality, and I tell my story, on the audio, on the video, that when I first got in network marketing 36 years ago, 37 years ago, back in 1988, the company I was with sold $5,000 packs of water filters, and I bought that. And everybody that I brought in bought $5,000 worth of water filters. I didn't stay in that company very long, but that's, and that was just the way people did business. And $5,000 20 years ago, or 36 years ago, excuse me, was probably like 10 or $15,000 now, right? So it's a mind shift change, and I think this document here, the power of the premium, is going to be very helpful for you because it is the best bang for your buck. No one likes to spend more money than they need to, and here you'll be able to get the very best price and set themselves up for success, be qualified so they don't need to purchase any more product for another 90 days. It covers the first month and 2 additional months of qualification. So I just want to encourage everyone to make use of these documents and forms. If you need help with any of this, reach up to one of your upline leaders. Maybe one of them was on the director's call and got it live. And maybe you'll be on the director's call pretty soon if you follow our advice.
And that was great. And I just want to go over the who, because
Uh-huh.
I think that's really fascinating for everyone to just live in this question. Who are the people to get this kit? Entrepreneurs, business owners with no exit option, savvy boomers who still want to be in the game, network marketers, desperate people. You
And
know,
when I joined network marketing, I was one of the desperate people because I just sold my business. I was in litigation and I needed to start a new life. And network marketing came to me. It was a godsend. It was a God thing, and it totally shifted my career path. I had no idea. I didn't even hardly know what network marketing was 36 years ago. Yeah.
okay. So I hope everyone knows how many points you're getting for each week to get
Mhm.
the cruise and that you really work with the mindset. And I also want to thank Janet Kiefer because she made an offer to us about an event that's coming up September 12th to 14th. The 2-for-1 special is no longer, but you can still get a $100 discount. It's still a great deal. It's Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday in Dallas, September 12th to 14th. So if you are really ready to, go for it with a mindset change, there's 50 people at least from our community that are going to that. And so very, very exciting. Thank you, Janet.
I do want to make a point that on our on our Thursday replay of the Wednesday training on this, Robin and I opened up a scholarship to the first 20 people that wanted to go. We would pay their way. And I'm sorry to say that scholarship is closed. We've oversold the scholarship, but it was only for people who were on that Thursday morning call. And as a result, Robin, I think you said there might be 50 to 70 people going because a lot of people are just paying their own way. They didn't need a scholarship. It's only $299, and it's normally a $1,400 seminar. So this is 2 full days, and you'll be surrounded by a lot of your Live Younger community is going to be there with you.
Great. Thanks.
Good.
Okay, let's
So
move
that's the
forward.
information there. So I think we'll blast through the rest of it because we've discussed this every week. Everybody knows about the conference. Go ahead, Robin. Anything you want to say?
Um, well, Sunshower is busy buying glasses, so she's been modeling all different colors. So if you go to Amazon and put in Elton John glasses, you'll have all kinds of options. There is
Mhm.
an option to buy a dozen for $18, which I think is a good option to give, you buy some for yourself and you share. So check it out. And
Okay.
you want to talk
And we've
about
talked a lot about the Live Younger website. We're not going to go into that again now. I think we want to jump ahead to a week at a glance.
tomorrow?
Tomorrow, Janet
Tomorrow.
Kiefer is going to be SPD. She's going to be doing the front end that I normally do. Janet's going to do it tomorrow, and she's going to move right into the interview with one of our favorites, Dr. Barbara Jennings. She'll be interviewing Dr. Barbara Jennings from a health practitioner standpoint, why they're so excited about LifeWave. So it's going to be a great call tomorrow. And then, as you were mentioning earlier, Robin, on Wednesday, this Wednesday, it's the new brand partner getting started training, hosted this time by our favorite Garrett. Okay, so there he is right there, and you can plug your new people into that, and you can plug in to see if you get any tips from Garrett.
And before you move along, in the chat,
Uh-huh.
Janet put the link for the event. It's called Connect, Persuade, Lead. And this is a man named Mark Gazzetta that has made over 1,000 millionaires in network marketing. Do you think we could learn something from him? Okay. Thank you,
I
Janet.
bet we can, and everyone should. So. So the rest is our standard schedule every Thursday morning, and this Thursday morning was a surprise to everyone. It was just so good on Wednesday. Again, we did this something we've never done before. We replayed the director training on the Thursday morning because it was so good.
Because
So
I needed to hear it twice.
yeah. So again, so thank you, Janet. Thank you, Connie, and everyone else that participated in that.
And
And
I
I think
want to
that
I want to bring attention to the links at the bottom, honey.
okay, good. We'll jump down to
So I'm gonna well, actually go up to the patch pouches for a second. So a lot of you, got some of these, but if you want to order them, you can put your patches and travel safely with an insulated pouch, and it says "Share the light" in honor of our next conference. And so my homework to everybody. This is
Mhm.
I don't usually give homework like this, is to go through the newsletter and click on everything at the bottom so you know what's available for you because I answer a lot of questions that are right there in the newsletter every single week, every week, and it would really help all of us to empower you to empower your people to know where the resources are and what the tools available are. So your homework, who's taken who I'm going to give a bonus for someone who does it, who's the first three people. I'm going to give you a patch pouch.
There you go. I just want to comment that number 9, 10, and 11, and 12, a lot of people don't use or even remember or know these valuable websites there. Live Younger products for customer product focused prospects and for business partners who want to learn more about the products. Copper peptide breakthrough, scientific benefits of copper peptide. Live Younger Science, that's where the science and patents are, and liveyoungerpatchingparty.com, which we're working on upgrading that, taking it to the next level here over the next few weeks, 30 days. But more and more people are having very successful launch parties, patching parties, online, parties. And the purpose is to get the mission and get the word out. So I encourage everyone, like you said, Robin, check out, what we have available here for you.
And realize that something like number 4 in the top primary category, POP webinar, that's one of our main tools to share what we have. We send them to Live Younger first, and then if they want more information, the POP webinar, which is every Tuesday, that's the Power of the Pet Showcase that Gregory and Janet host with our practitioners every week. That's a place to bring guests and a great tool. So if you've never watched it, watch it.
Yeah,
It's
and
my
that's a 24/7 replay. And we just upgraded that. That's the replay from last week. So it's very current. We don't upgrade it every week. Every week, the replays are available on liveyoungeryoutube.com. But POP webinar, as you said, Robin, it's a perfect second exposure or third exposure. Sometimes you might set a teaser video with InTouch. Then you might send them to your Live Younger or the standard liveyounger.com website. And then you might send them to the Power Patch. And if somebody's gone through those three steps, chances are you're going to have a brand new brand partner or customer, on your hands. So that's very exciting. So it's a great second or third exposure, the 24/7. And every Tuesday night, you can get people. There's something about a live event that's so much better than a replay. Hey, it's starting in 20 minutes. You're going to be able to be on there with me. So let's load up the lines tomorrow night for Janet and Dr. Barbara.
beautiful.
I think that brings us to a wrap.
Okay.
So it was great to be with everyone here tonight. Thanks for dialing in. And this call, like all of our calls, we call them calls or Zooms, but you can dial in if you want, is on liveyoungeryoutube.com, usually within 24 hours. So any final comments?
Have a wonderful week. It's
Mhm.
summertime. It's
Woo.
August. It's time
Yeah.
to collect cash and points and, really build momentum in your business. And I do want to say that, the first round of X2Os are going out to top leaders around the country. We're starting to hear stories. It's really fun, and we'll be sharing more of that as more people get their units and uh, Gregory and I have some ideas on what we want to do to support you and having great success with that. So, okay,
We do.
everyone. Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone. Good night. Have
Bye
a great
bye.
week.